coal combustion. Oh my goodness, what's going on? Chapter 4, the monkey business associated with coal.
Okay, here we are. Here we go. Here's what I'm going to do. Follow me down. Here we go, baby. Great.
So I'm Hatt, and this is my video about the monkey business in coal. So I'm driving to work one day, and I'm thinking about my customers, both utilities and coal companies, and how some of them are not actually getting the right values in the coal samples. And that's what I'm going to call the monkey business of coal. Because if the samples don't match up with the quality of the coal, there's a lot of money that can be spent paying on shipments that the quality doesn't represent the shipment quality. So in a sense, when you buy a large shipment of coal, you're trusting a piece of paper with some numbers written on it, and that's a little bit shaky until you actually get the coal, and the power plant has the ability to look at and utilize the coal and see what it is and try to get you on firmer ground. Now, how long has this been going on? This is a little paragraph explaining how in 1844 the U.S. Navy wasn't getting its quality of coal that it was paying for. And what the big issue is that essentially coal, and washed coal might represent this, coal has a certain amount of ash that's actually inside or associated with the coal. When the outer seam dilution, or the rocks above and below the coal seam, are mixed in, raw coal is produced, and you can see that there's all sorts of opportunity for higher ash. And you really don't want someone picking out just one individual piece of coal or one individual item out of a whole lot full, because that may or may not actually represent everything in the lot. So to try to get you out of some risky business and maybe get you more into where you can be more assured of what's going on and you have a more peaceful life, I want you to understand that coal mining has a lot of rock associated with it. That's what the coal mines mostly use, and the big drag lines are for, is moving the rock around so that we finally get our shipment of coal. And these shipments of coal are getting quite big, so they're no longer 1,000 or 2,000 tons. They can be upwards of 15, 20,000 ton shipments in one. And then poof, all of a sudden you get a sample, a little bag of coal that represents that whole huge large shipment. And this is the dilemma, is that if that coal is dried a little bit, it gets or reports from the laboratory a higher heating value, and you get a higher value perceived in the paperwork. So there's several different monkey business things we should talk about in this area, and that's basically when the sample is dried, or wetting the coal after you take the sample to get more tonnage associated with it. You could all even get a sample from a barrel or known quality. You don't have to get it from a barge. And there's several other things that you can do. Now, when you get that bag of coal, it reports the total as received moisture. But that coal has already been crushed. The coal sampling process and the coal preparation process involves not only crushing, but also sample division. And how this actual sample gets divided really impacts the measurement. And of course, just keep in mind that when we're measuring, and in this case small quantities of coal representing large shipments, the measurements aren't exactly accurate. In other words, you could be off 2 or 3 or 4 or 5% either way, and still be doing a relatively good job of sampling and analysis. So once that sample gets processed and pulverized in the lab, we now have a little jar of 60 mesh, and we may weigh about 1 gram. 1 gram represents 10, 15, 20,000 tons of coal. 1 gram is used in the laboratory. Is there some potential for error? Boy, that's a lot of coal being represented by such a small little divided sample. And then we're going to measure the BTU of it. We'll measure that pretty accurately. But of course, all that sample preparation really impacts us. So what we get is paper with numbers written on it that's from the laboratory, and what I'm suggesting, you really want to be careful. Here's an example. Look, here's some low quality fuel, high ash, low CV, but we'll just blend it in. How about that? Well, I mean, this is just a paper analysis of this barge, and when you actually see the barge show up, you might suggest that, well, that isn't even coal or fuel at all. That paperwork might be accurately representing this high ash material, but it's not what you really were expecting. So we have these issues with all sorts of coal sampling and preparation errors. So I don't want you to be chicken. I want you to shake the squirrels out of the tree. And here's some things that you can do. The number one thing for slow and steady steam production and reliable and predictable boiler performance would be to know how your coal is made. Is it a blended product? Is it a single seam product? Does it contain rock and minerals from the out of seam dilution? The only way you're really going to be able to tell is go and look. And going and looking is what the audit process is. You really just want to see how the coal is made, what the equipment is, and you're going to maybe even take a mining engineer. And it's not that you don't trust your coal supplier or the people at the docks loading the vessels or however you get your coal, but you're just there to verify that what they're doing is what you expected them to be doing. And of course, if you can get an independent laboratory under your control to independently sample the shipment, I think you'll be much more confident. And if you're more confident, I think what you'll see is that you'll have smooth water sailing. In other words, by paying attention to these the sampling and weighing process, we're just mostly talking about fuel quality at this point. But if you want to actually try to pay attention and see what's going on, audit, inspect, I think you'll have smooth water sailing, and then the power plant can have steady combustion without a lot of issues. And of course, that's going to help everybody make predictable, low-cost electricity. What you don't want is a bunch of rocks that you didn't really expect. And of course, low-quality coals can make more pollution. So in the end, don't be deceived. I want you to pay attention to the coal quality and the aspects of that influences on our business. Well, I'm Hatt with Coal Combustion Inc., and thanks so much for this short little video about the monkey business of coal. Take care. Bye-bye.